Thank you, Liberty Hill. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tonight, I have the honor of welcoming Congressman John Lewis into Los Angeles, into our home. As we are all gathered to honor a man born to sharecroppers outside of Troy, Alabama, who as a teenager read the words of the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King and became inspired, and he was so inspired that by the time he was 21, he had already accumulated an impressive history of activism. He volunteered to participate as a freedom rider, challenging segregation at interstate bus terminals across the South, across his home. And I know that there's some other freedom riders with us this evening as well. Peggy Priestley, Robert Singleton, Ellen Bromes, Robert Farrell, Ralph Furtick. Would you please rise to be recognized? We salute you. We want you to know that this country will never cease to owe you its gratitude for your selflessness, your sacrifice in the name of equity and justice and freedom. We salute you. That's what Congressman Lewis has done his whole life. Ever since he was the youngest speaker at the March on Washington in 1963, or since he stood on that bridge in Selman, John Lewis has always and will always challenge the stain of hate as it seeks to tarnish the fabric of this country, what he calls the beloved community, this home. The light that burns in Congressman Lewis and those that participated in the Freedom Rides, and all of you here tonight, is the light that knows that justice begins at home and justice begins at Liberty Hill. I am honored to say that I have been involved with Liberty Hill almost from the very beginning, and you know that's 41 years. Liberty Hill has been on the front lines, and I am proud to say that I was on the Community Funding Board. I was a part of the Board of Directors, and when Community Coalition first started, Liberty Hill was our very first funder. Liberty Hill believed in the mission of a just future, and Liberty Hill knew that what happens here in Los Angeles influences the entire country. And now in this moment, Liberty Hill knows that when progressive values are under attack, we must address the pressing issues in our own backyards to change the future of this country. So which brings me to the cause for tonight's celebration, honoring Congressman Lewis with Liberty Hill's Upton Sinclair Award, which honors those whose work and whose life illustrates a commitment to social justice and equity. I remember when I first got to Congress and met the congressman for the first time, he said to me, "Just call me John." And I said, "Okay, Mr. Lewis, I will not call you John." His advocacy, his humility, and his legacy are lessons for all of us to learn and to grow with. So when I come home on the weekends, people say to me, "How can I stand being in Congress?" Well, let me just tell you that one of the things that I am so happy about to be in Congress, aside from the fact that I'm in the middle of the fight, but I get to serve alongside of John Lewis. So please join me in welcoming a transgenerational hero. I know my colleague who is here, Errol Brumenauer from Oregon, will agree with me when I say that Representative John Lewis, from both Democrats and Republicans, is the most respected member of the House of Representatives. Join me in welcoming and congratulating a national hero, Congressman John Lewis.